Okay, so somebody gave me an email that said, why don't you do a video on how to conversate, have a good conversation with a woman? And I thought to myself, okay, I will do my best to do this. Or maybe not. Because here's my this and this is my own personal opinion on this shit. You know. This is just my opinion. Most stuff most of the stuff I give you, you can kind of speak in generalities, and I do kind of speak generally to kind of give you an idea of what to do because there are certain general things that you can do. And if you really want to learn how to steer and direct a conversation, you could pick up books on sales because it's the exact same thing. Well, it's almost the exact same thing. But as far as how to have a good conversation with a woman, that's tricky. The same reason why I personally don't particularly get into some of the vids on YouTube that are, pickup artists in a club, talking to a girl, getting her number, pickup artists on the street, approaching a woman. Every approach is going to be different, man. Every conversation that you have is going to be different. The best thing that you can do is just learn how to conversate, learn how to listen, learn how to direct it and steer it in a way that you want it to go. And you can't just do that and you can't just do that without actually going out and practicing doing it. And I know that probably doesn't help you out at all, but you know, every answer, your answers are not in a book. Guidelines are in a book. Guidelines are in some of the DVD stuff that's out there, and those are guidelines. But your way, the way that you're going to talk to a woman, is going to be totally different from the way that I do. And to kind of illustrate this point, I was looking at and this is years ago. I was looking at taking up a martial arts class, taking up kung fu, and I went to a few different schools, and and it was all. I mean, it ran the gambit from every people looking like they were from Cobra Kai, from the Karate Kid, whereas yeah, I've been this and I've done this, and my students do this, and we've entered all these tournaments. And the last school that I came upon, and I swear to God this is true, and he said something that changed the way that I kind of looked at things. He said, "I'm not going to teach you your kung fu." He said, and he wasn't an Asian guy being all philosophical or something. He was, he was he was a middle-aged white guy. Not saying that they can't do kung fu. I mean, because obviously he had a school, but he said this. He said, "You're not going to learn your kung fu from me. It's like I'm going to give you a guideline, but you're going to learn your kung fu from your fellow students. You're going to learn your kung fu from interaction." So, and I thought about it. No matter what school you go to, the teacher can instruct you whatever. If you are the best person in your class and everybody in your class sucks, does that mean that you're really good, or does that mean that you just suck less than them? So when it comes to conversating with anybody, you know, you have to learn your version of a good conversation because it depends on where you want to steer. Do you want to steer it to the bedroom? Are you trying to steer it to getting out a date? Are you trying to hook up and do something later on? There are way too many factors for any one person to sit here and say, hey, this is how you talk to women. This is how you have this certain conversation. Of course, there are guidelines. Of course, there's good stuff out there. And that's why I say if you ever think about taking a boot camp, I would say do that because at least that way somebody can sit next to you and say, hey, this is what you're doing wrong, or you need to improve on this, or you need to improve on whatever. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that right now. And I'm going to get a part two of this.